Welcome everybody back to Markonomics 101 presents Hoot Loot, the funniest place in money, the most accurate place in money, the place to be informed, be amused, but never be misled. We are here, or as I am here, accepting the presidency that you at the last minute wrote in, and those two are sore losers, Biden and Trump, couldn't even concede. Wait, what's that? Hold on one second. Jill, I know he's still asleep. Why don't you have him call me when he gets up? That's fine. He can't. That's fine. Okay, good. All right, look, I know he's tired all the time, but, just when he gets up for a few minutes, have him call me, okay? Bye. Unbelievable. Okay, so anyway, if you'd like to subscribe, right up here, today's show is called The Inauguration, Case for Elation or Financial Annihilation. What's going to happen with the Biden administration? And we're about to tell you how the world is going to change and how you're going to make money and how to avoid losing money. Hit like and subscribe, and you're going to find out in just a couple minutes. Wait a minute, what's this? Hello? Oh, come on, Dawn. I told you not to bug me about this. I'm not going to have the election again, okay? Sorry, that's out of the question. And Melania has got to stop calling me. It is really getting on my nerves. I don't like sneaking around like that. Any event, we'll be right back with some amazing market analysis. Welcome back, Markonomics 101. We're about to go to the charts on Hoot Loot. And I'll tell you, we got a lot to talk about today. The world is changing. The only constant in the stock market is change. And you got to keep up with it all the time in order to make money. We're going to show you how to do that today. If I can't give you the advice, I have got the magic 8 ball right here that's going to tell me. I've got the sarcastic 9 ball that's going to tell me. I've got Ace over here somewhere, my analyst, that's going to tell me, although he's taking a little dog nap. He doesn't really care right now today. But we're going to start out with the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and we're going to go down and tell you what's looking good, what's looking bad, and you're going to find some of this stuff really interesting, because I sure as hell did when I looked at it. Okay, first of all, the Dow continues to kind of march up in a very, very slow ascending wedge. That's a bearish pattern long run, but it could go for a little while. I mean, it's not really, it's kind of chugging along. Enough things keep making new highs. It's not in any imminent danger of breaking, but you never know, because I'll tell you, when I think the market is in no danger of breaking, that's when it breaks. When I think I'm going to make a ton of money, that's when I get my head handed to me. So your emotions and what you believe are often your biggest enemies. But at least from the charts right now, and a lot of we're going to show you, the market still has a little higher to go in certain areas, and some areas are dirt cheap and are going to make money for you. We're going to talk about those over and over again, okay? So this is the Dow. Again, bearish ascending wedge, nothing all that thrilling. It's got a little bit of upside to go. I don't know how much, honestly. This is the NASDAQ 100. It is not going up at the rate it used to go up. And this is one of the reasons I'm a little less optimistic about the market here, is that you look at this and the leaders, the tech stocks, they're just kind of chugging along, like that train that said, I think I can, except they're going, well, we kind of think we can. We kind of think we can. But they sure as hell don't know they can, because they're not chugging very, very fast. They're not going to go, woo, woo. Nah, not doing that at all. So let's continue on S&P 500. Again, same kind of thing. The big cap stocks are just kind of lumbering along like they're 80 years old, or they're 100 pounds overweight, or God knows what. But they are just, in sort of an upward ascending flag. And, flags are the topic of the day. I love the American flag behind me. And you people picked the right man and got rid of those 2 bumps. All right, here we go. So now we're going to go to the small cap index. These are the companies that are not quite blue chip companies, but they're pretty big. I mean, they're a couple $1 billion. I don't call that a small cap, or at least I didn't used to. I'd love to have a small cap. I'd love to be one of the smaller caps and have $200 million, but I don't. Interesting thing about the small cap 600 is that, believe it or not, Apple itself is worth more than all of them combined. That's how extreme the market's gotten. Okay, Dow Jones Transportation, we love to call them the trannies or the transgender Americans, just to be politically correct. And what you'll notice here, same thing as last week, we are building a massive, massive 7 point reverse wave. I've numbered the individual points, and this is very important because the 7 point reverse wave is going to stop this market eventually. It doesn't mean that it stops today, but this is a reversal pattern. I've almost never seen it not be. It's a pretty accurate pattern. Okay, and transportations are important. Why? Because they move people, goods, and everything else around, and that's what makes the economy. It has to be moved around. Um, U.S. dollar, believe it or not, the U.S. dollar's gotten strong. We've talked a number of times about how it's the key to understanding what's going on out there. Well, it still is. The Fed, the Fed is doing its best. Biden just nominated Janet Yellen, who is known as a Federal Reserve dove. Now, what that means to those of you that don't know, and nor should you, a Federal Reserve hawk is somebody who has a very, very anti-inflationary bias. And a dove like Janice Yellen is somebody that has a very, very pro-growth, pro-employment, but who cares about inflation bias. So there are different kinds of Federal Reserve chairman around. She's about as dovish as you get. So again, we've been talking about inflation. We've been talking about all kinds of precious metal stocks and things like that. This is the chairman of the Fed that you want for that, okay? Let's keep going. The airline index, we're going to go through some sectors here. Why this thing is going up, and it looks like it's ready for takeoff. I have no idea. The airlines are half full. They're using government bailouts, and they're laying off people like crazy. I happen to know some people that have been laid off recently, and they're laying off about a third of their workforce. They cannot make money operating on this scale. So how the hell they're going up is beyond me, but they are. The broker dealer index, this isn't beyond me why they're going up, because they're throwing out stuff like DoorDash at $90 billion. And oh my God, this one, SpaceX is coming up. Elon's company is coming up, another Elon Musk company. He's going to be here, I think. He promised me he'd be here at 420, and we would, we'd kind of share a little dry cocktail over some of his future plans, especially SpaceX, which is going to take you to Mars or the moon. I love that. Elon, show me that you can take me to Mars and you can have whatever the hell you want. Not that you'd want anything of mine, but you'd want Ace because he's pretty cute. All right. So the broker dealers are making a lot of money. There are a ton of new offerings coming out. And let me tell you this, I've looked at them. They're crap. Money center banks, still strong. They were weak at first. All of them look a lot like this. Financial sector's healthy. Again, a plus for the markets. This is the VanEck Retail Sector Fund. It's kind of amazing to me how this thing has gone up so far when we don't have that many retailers anymore. We don't, basically we're down to about 5 major retailers, and all the little stores have closed. So yeah, some has been consolidated, and some of the retail sales are gasoline and things like that, which are going up in price. But when you look at this thing, you'd think we're in a booming recovery. And if we are in a booming recovery, it will be sometime down the road. And I don't know when that boom is going to happen. The market seems to think so. So I'm going to listen to it. I'm not going to tell the market what's going to happen. It's going to tell me. It's telling me right now in retail and a lot of other places I'll show you, a big economic recovery is coming. Unfortunately, a big inflation is coming too. So I'm sorry, but the cure, the disease, I'm not sure which is worse. Actually, I am. Okay, so we're going to go on to big pharma, the industry we love to love. Gosh, if I only had some of my Prozac around, I'd be popping a few of those, and gosh, I could use some OxyContin and some other stuff that they peddle. But big pharma right now, they're real happy. They're real happy when there's a lot of disease going around, people afraid of diseases, so they can create drugs that can not only cure the disease, but make you sick in another way. So you have to take yet more pills to cure yourself of the side effects of the first pills. So they have a pretty good business, if you ask me. Plus, the population's getting older, and older people do need more healthcare. Biotechnology index. The biotechnology index God, what would you like to be right now other than a biotechnology company? Just about every one of them is working on a vaccine for a flu that is going to be within statistical norms by the time it's over, probably. It's not really outside of the norms of flu season or pneumonia season. Well, anyway, there's at least half a dozen of these that I've heard of right now. Pfizer has a two-parter. Moderna has one. There's a third company. I forgot the name of it, but both of them have already killed people. Isn't that lovely? They've already killed people. And I know Russia has one. I know Canada has one. Whether they've killed people or not, I don't know. I don't listen to the news because, as you know, the cable news is the leading form of mental illness. We are here today to tell you the truth in 15 minutes or 20 minutes so you don't have to listen to that crap. All right, let's go on from biotechnology, oil services. Well, oil almost went negative a while ago because of the cost of storage. It was weird. But oil services are drillers. These are the guys that drill, the shale oil drillers, the big drillers like, Schlumberger and Halliburton. Halliburton, speaking of Dick Cheney. And they've broken out. They're doing well. Obviously, there's going to be demand for oil, or at least the market thinks so. And these companies are about to see a resurgence in their cash flows. These are the big multinational oil companies. They're not doing as well. And the reason they're not doing as well is because all the profitability is finding the oil, not basically refining it and running it through gas stations. They do find their oil, but they're not strictly of the service side of the business, but they're not doing all that well. To be honest with you, I'm surprised big oil hasn't gone up farther. Semiconductors never go down. They're up 150% in 9 months. Parabolic, unsustainable, but chips go in everything. And as Lays would say, you can't eat just one. So and I'll tell you this: I've never liked the taste of semiconductors. I don't know why all you people are eating them out there, but chips are chips, I guess. Um, Greystone Bitcoin Trust. Look at this thing. I mean, this is a parabolic, gone wild curve, anti-dollar. And I would not, if I were you, be looking to buy this or play in this. This has cost more people more money because this thing turns on a dime. It goes up 15 or 20% in a day. Look at this thing, 400% in 3 months, and most people don't even know what it's worth. Stay away from this thing. Um, Not necessarily. Actually, I want to make a correction. The Grayscale Trust holds Bitcoin. If you're just going to own Bitcoin outright, it's so easy to lose. This is probably, if you're going to own it, the best way to own it because you own Bitcoin in a trust. You're not going to get hacked into, and that part actually is a huge advantage. So I apologize for making the statement of staying away from Bitcoin. You still should, and you still should stay away from that one. But if you're from Grayscale, but if you're going to invest in Bitcoin, Grayscale is not a bad way to do it because you're protected from all the hacking that goes on at exchanges. Okay, so now we're going to show you a segment of the market we've never showed you before. These are all the different markets and they're publicly traded. So they tell us something about how the rest of the markets are going to do. For example, this is the CME Group, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. This is futures, commodities. It's been public for a long time. Look how much it's gone up. But right now, once again, in a 5-point reverse wave, this thing is probably got one last leg in it, or maybe not. This does have commodities, but a lot of it has already been bid up. I mean, look at this thing. It's been on a parabolic, tear for 10 plus years. This is the 1 year of the Chicago Board Options Exchange. It's called CBOE Global Markets now, but this is where you used to buy your options. CBOE, Chicago Board Options Exchange. And this one is finally starting to chug ahead. If it should exceed that high, it makes it all-time new high. So when all the markets are making all-time new highs themselves as markets, it stands to reason that that's a positive indication for the individual stocks. And that's why I'm showing you these. This is the 20-year, or actually really more of a 10-year of the CBOE. But what you'll notice here is a very rare pattern, a parabolic uptrend with a flag. Not an American flag like out here, but a flag. And a flag normally, these things normally go like this and like this. And so for it to actually hold at a high level, that's pretty good. That gives you the possibility that we might actually have another huge rally here. As much as the thought of it just blows my mind. This thing could go to the top of the range where the green is, or it could make all-time new highs, and the market could just go sailing away. I don't know, but there are some signs it will. There are some signs it won't. We're going to show you both. This is the Intercontinental Exchange. I've shown you this before. It owns the New York Stock Exchange, making new highs. The NASDAQ making new highs. Okay, this is who owns the NASDAQ. NASDAQ OMX. It's in a reverse wave. 5-point pattern means it could go higher, but it's in a topping pattern, but it could go a lot higher. You just don't know. Okay, now we're going to start talking about some economically sensitive companies that are very important to follow. This is FedEx Corporation. Transportation right now is key, is critical, is huge. FedEx transports a lot of goods, and they are not in a good pattern. This company looks like it is breaking down here, and that it rallied in anticipation of all of that extra business. Well, it has all that extra business now. So, now that it has all this extra business, what's its next trick? What's my next trick? Investors don't know, so it consolidates, it makes a topping pattern, it might go down, it might stay here for a while, but without some extra impetus, stimulus, earnings, something, FedEx has probably seen its highs for this cycle. And the same goes, for Grubhub. Grubhub is also just a company that transports food in dishes. It doesn't transport people, it doesn't transport goods, it just transports something that's going to last for half an hour in your mouth, and then it's going to go down in your stomach, and that's how they make money, and that's why they're worth tens of billions of dollars, I suppose. Because they don't own cars. It's like DoorDash. They don't own crap except for a GPS system, which everybody owns, and that somehow is worth a lot of money. We're going on to UPS, also topping, not looking really good, like the economy is about to push over. Tesla, what would a show be without Tesla? Parabolic, up 1,000% this year. I don't think it's ever made a dime. I can't even tell. I keep asking Elon when he's here, and he's lighting up. I keep saying, Elon, can you explain the financials, please? No, I can't. He wants to tell me about SpaceX and how it's going to go to Mars. Right. That's usually after about 5 or 6 of his special, Anyway, General Motors, look at that. Does that remind you of something? Like Tesla? General Motors has got to be the most stodgy old company. Do you know why this is going up like this? Janet Yellen, just today said that she is going to work with General Motors on making electric vehicles the dominant type of vehicle in the world. And that's why all of the auto companies are going up, because all of a sudden there's this big growth in autos. What are they going to do with the old ones? That's what I want to know. Costco wholesale retailer. This is one of the big 4 retailers. It's breaking down. This is not a good sign for the economy. This is one of the sectors that's breaking down is retail. Retail is 70% of the economy. So while you are seeing some signs like banks and other things, you are seeing the most important part of the economy crater, and that's retail. We have a lot to show you there. This is MasterCard. MasterCard is only tied to retail, and this one is about to break support. It's been making a topping pattern, and if it breaks that first level of support, that's not good. That means it's in a downtrend. That means the economy is not looking so good down the road. Even though it may rally in the near term to fulfill the predictions here, I don't know how long it's going to go. Nordstrom somehow escaped death. It's the 5th retailer, I call it. There were only 4 left, but somehow they made it, and good for them. American Express, another credit card company. This one's doing really well. This is the only one that's doing really well. This is a Dow 30 company right here. It has other things than just credit cards, but it's doing actually pretty well. Visa, same thing as MasterCard, looks like the same thing. People are not spending money. So unless they get that stimulus, they got nothing to spend, or they've already spent it, or they're using it to pay back debt, because they probably ran up a bunch of debt while the government wouldn't let them work and had them sit at home and close their businesses down for them. Thank you very much, Uncle Sam. You're a great guy. I love you. Walmart, another one. Look at that. maybe turning over, but it's still healthy uptrend. And the reason that these companies have survived is online sales. They dominate in online sales. They're not brick and mortar. You don't go into them. You don't have to wear a mask in them, although you do have to wear a mask pretty soon because they're going to have the webcams look at you while you order from Amazon and make sure you're wearing a mask so that it doesn't go through the webcam and all the way into their corporate offices because, you just can't be too careful. All right, this is Target, another great retailer. Look at that, up and away, also real good. Wells Fargo, probably the weakest bank, but it is rallying. It is kind of getting there. I just wanted to show you this because most of the banks are doing well. This one's kind of lagging behind. Um, Apple, still kind of in an indecision pattern. Can you say sell? I think so. I think it's a sell. It might not be, but it looks like it could break any day now. Amazon, hard to tell. This one's a coin toss. This is a perfect triangle pattern. You don't know whether it's going to break up, break down. So just sit back, play back, wait for it to tell you where it's going to go. That's when you take a position in it. We've got Facebook, the arbiters of truth, and this thing's right at critical support. This one could also break down. This one could also be one of the stocks that drags the whole market down. So, we're looking at the biggest cap companies because those are the ones that are worth the most, have the most influence in the averages, and bring stuff down or lift stuff up, depending on which way the market wants to go. This is Google. Nothing to complain about here. I was for a while because it had a crummy pattern, but right now it's in a bull flag. It looks like it's going up. The uptrend is reasonable. Nothing to complain about. So that's one on the plus side for the NASDAQ. Microsoft is also about to break out. We had it as a negative pattern before because it looked like it was in a rounded top, but here you've got this little channel here at the end, and if it breaks up through it, it's going to it's going to take it with it. Qualcomm, look at that beautiful pattern. I mean, this is a picture perfect pattern. I know I've had red in the past on Qualcomm because of all the parabolic uptrends. Not this time. This looks really good. It broke up. It made new highs. This suggests the market does have higher to go, even though some of these companies don't look so good. Now we're going to talk about my favorite thing, really, and Elon's favorite thing. Why didn't Elon, get back in here. Nah, he just left. He got really pissed off when I told him to switch to vapes. But in any event, the marijuana, the cannabis sector, Ace hates the cannabis sector, and he hates it. He hates when Elon's here, and he always complains about Ace. Come on, Elon's cool. Anyway, Afria just merged with Tilray to form the largest cannabis company. Look at that move. And we've been telling you about these companies for, weeks. And fortunately, if you listen to us, you're able to catch this and make a nice 50% profit in about a week. So let's, but take your money off the table. You don't want to move like that, 50% 3 days, and then give it all back. There's nothing worse than that. Take your profits, put them in the bank, put them in your pocket, say thank you, be grateful. Thank you, God. You know how many times I've lost money? A lot. And when I make money, I'm damn thankful. This is Aurora Cannabis, same kind of thing. This thing looks like it has a long way to go. We're out of it right now. I think a lot of these are going to consolidate just a little bit, but they could keep going. I just don't know. I didn't want to give the profits back. Another one, Canopy Growth, the second largest cannabis company, 30% owned by Constellation Brands, one of the largest distributors of spirits, beer, wine, and all that kind of good stuff, and methamphetamines and heroin, and no, not those. I was reading wrong list. Anyway, Canopy Growth is one of the largest. It's very diverse. Hemp, you name it. Cannabinabadoo oil. That's what I call it. Fred Flintstone would say cannabinabadoo oil because I don't know how the hell to pronounce it, but hopefully he can. Hopefully you'll see him. All right, next one, Hexo Corporation. Look at that. I said if it breaks above 525, don't fear the reefer. And look at that, 40% gain in 2 days. How would you have liked that? And this was set in advance of that right here. All you had to do is buy it above 525. You'd have 40% profit right now in 3 days. That wouldn't make you fear the reefer now, would it? That's reefer madness for you, if I call it. Money madness, reefer madness, hoot loot madness. It's all good. Tilray, is the company that was joining Afria to be the largest cannabis company. Look at this guy. This is my favorite position right here. Why? Because Tilray not only was good by itself, but it's even better with Afria. And I think I have the longer chart here. Look at this weekly intervals. This thing has been as high as $300. It went IPO at 20. It went down to like 5 a couple of years, about a year and a half ago. And look at that. Look at that breakout at the very end of the graph here at the bottom right. Massive breakout. This thing could go to 100 without even breathing. So, I love this company. I hope some of you will, take advantage of any pullback and put something in it because it's going. So now we're going to talk about the precious metals. They are right on the edge. They are just holding on. There's been some breakdowns. There has been some, things holding up. I'm saying that I'm going to still be on the slightly plus part of it, but I would be careful about getting in quite yet. You might want to wait till after the weekend in our next show when we can go through all these things, and we're going to. We're going to go through all of the precious metals companies and which ones make good ideas to buy, because when you look at something like Yamana Gold here, or as I call it, Yo Mama! Didn't exactly do pretty well. It sunk. It broke through the ice and it broke its trend. That's not healthy for the sector at all. All right. Platinum, doing well. There's a metal that's going up for it because we've talked about inflation, and pretty much anything that is tied to inflation right now is going up. Core mining, we've loved this one in the past. Look at how it's broken down, but it's still holding above its lows. And that's the thing I like about it. When this sector starts to go back up again, and it will, this is one I would want to own. Eldorado Gold broke through its downtrend. This is one I would also want to own when the time comes, and we will tell you when that time is, when the low risk entry point is. This is Hecla Mining, same thing. Nice rounded bottom pattern though, and it's holding up pretty well. And as you can see, once this thing breaks 7, it's just clear sailing on the way up. Silver is where it is. Silver is cheap relative to gold. That's one thing to keep in mind right now. Kinross Gold, another one we've talked about. It's slightly broke down, but it's also bouncing back up. This is one I would want to own when it actually gives a technical buy signal. And let's see, we've got one more. I guess we don't have one more. Well, in that case, those are all our gold picks for today. But it's been a pleasure being here today. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe. Remember, we're here working our butts off so that you can be informed, be amused, and never be misled. None of this stuff is false. Everything that you see on the TV, just about, your guess is as good as mine. That's why I get mentally ill watching it. That's why I don't watch it. Thank you so much for Markonomics 101. Our next edition of Hoot Loot is going to be on next weekend, and we look forward to seeing you then. Please like and subscribe. Send in any questions you may have. Thank you very much. And finally, everybody, I'd like to thank a few important people that are here today. Most importantly would be the First Lady. And the First Lady has been dying to say hello to all of you. She and I and Vladimir Putin and his wife went out last night. We did some colluding. It was a tie, but the colluding was awfully fun. And we'd also like to thank, Kim Jong-il from North Korea. He almost popped her by accident. He didn't really understand kind of what this is. And then finally, Premier Jinping from China. He's helping us develop some new flu strains, which are awfully good for business. And there's a much better working relationship now than there ever has been. So you have nothing but good times to look forward to ahead. The First Lady and I couldn't be any happier to be here in this place, and we are very honored. Thank you very much.